Let's just jump right in, because today's explainer is tackling something absolutely huge, a Christ-centered blueprint for real, lasting transformation. We really have to ask ourselves, what if the reason you keep struggling, the reason you constantly feel stuck, isn't because you're weak or lack willpower? What if it's literally just because nobody ever handed you the right blueprint? Well, today, we're going to break down exactly how to renew your mind, get your peace back, and reconnect your heart with God using a highly structured, intentional approach. But first, we have to look at an incredibly real and honestly painful question. Why do we stay stuck? And I just want to validate how exhausting this is. So many of you are out there trying so hard. You're praying, you're reading devotionals, soaking up explainers like this one, showing up at church, doing all the quote-unquote right things. But inside, you might still feel deeply anxious, totally reactive, or just flat out spiritually exhausted. And the real tragedy here is the shame it brings. You kind of beat yourself up thinking, man, why am I still struggling so much if I truly love God? Well, the answer to that heavy shame is right here. Transformation requires a blueprint, not just survival strategies. Healing and growth, they aren't random. Think about it. God is deeply intentional. The whole of creation follows design, structure, rhythm, and order. But so many of us are out here trying to heal with zero process. We're trying to grow without consistency, or renew our minds without actually surrendering a single thing. It's literally like trying to build a house without ever glancing at the architectural plans. It just doesn't work. So here's our roadmap to get you from overwhelmed to real grounded peace. We'll start with the problem of staying stuck, then dive into step 1, radical awareness. Step 2, surrendering control. Step 3, daily renewal. Step 4, consistent action, and finally wrap it all up with the daily blueprint practice. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the problem of staying stuck, moving beyond exhaustion. The big issue we've run into is that most people desperately want transformation, but they're completely relying on survival strategies. And when you're stuck in survival mode, you're constantly anxious, you're reacting to every little trigger, and you end up just drained because you're running on nothing but sheer willpower. Now, spiritual alignment is a whole different ballgame. It's about being renewed, finding a baseline of real peace, and staying deeply connected to God. When you finally swap that exhausting survival mode for spiritual alignment, you stop fighting the current and you actually start flowing with the design. Okay, so how do we actually get to that spiritual alignment? By following these 4 very distinct sequential steps: awareness, surrender, renewal, and consistency. This right here is the structured antidote to your exhaustion, and you really can't skip a step. As we walk through them, you'll see exactly how they stack on top of each other to create change that actually lasts. Which brings us right into step 1, radical awareness, pausing the noise. Listen, here is a hard truth we all just have to face. You absolutely cannot surrender what you refuse to acknowledge. This whole step is anchored so beautifully in Psalm 139, which says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart." Transformation has to start with awareness. But, in our modern world, we are wildly disconnected from what's actually going on inside of us. We actively numb out with constant distractions. We use our phones, our endless to-do lists, our entertainment, just constant background noise to avoid feeling anything. But true healing, that only kicks in when you pause that noise long enough to ask what is actually happening in your heart. Are you exhausted? Are you secretly really angry? Are you terrified? Radical awareness just means honestly inviting God into those hidden places, instead of pretending everything is fine. It's not about being perfect. It's about being profoundly honest. Once we've got that awareness, we can tackle step 2, surrendering control, trusting the process. Now, this is usually the toughest step because, let's be real, it goes against every single human instinct we have. Consider this statement for a second. Anxiety often grows where surrender is absent. I really want you to just let that sink in. We all want God's promises, right? We want the peace, we want the healing, but we want all of it while desperately white-knuckling the illusion of control. But peace literally only begins where control ends. If you are feeling totally overwhelmed by anxiety, it's very often a flashing red warning light that surrender is missing in that specific area of your life. And look, surrender does not mean giving up. It's not waving a white flag of defeat. Surrender simply means trusting God more than you trust your fear. It's all about shifting your internal posture within a tough situation. Jesus actually modeled this perfectly in the Garden of Gethsemane when he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." Sometimes the massive breakthrough you're begging for isn't God immediately changing your external circumstances. Actually, scratch that. It's more often Him changing your internal posture so you can walk right through that fire with unshakable peace. Moving right along, we hit step 3, daily renewal, rewiring the mind. This is where the psychological and the spiritual just beautifully intersect. Real transformation absolutely requires mental renewal because of this amazing scientific reality called neuroplasticity. The fundamental rule is neurons that fire together, wire together. Basically, your brain reinforces whatever it repeats. So if you constantly rehearse fear, if you sit around in insecurity or dwell on bitterness, those specific mental pathways literally grow stronger and become your automatic default. Transformation only happens when truth becomes more familiar to your brain than fear. And that takes deliberately replacing those toxic internal narratives with solid truth, literally building healthier mental pathways over time. The Apostle Paul hit the nail on the head in Romans 12:2 when he said, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Notice the action word there. It's a daily, active practice. It's not just a one-and-done thing you do at a Sunday service. It means deliberately choosing scripture before you panic, choosing prayer before a massive reaction. It means catching those internal lies in real time and replacing them with solid truths like, I am not abandoned, I am not what happened to me, and my peace does not depend on my circumstances.
Which leads us perfectly into step 4, consistent action, the power of small steps.
So the crucial point here is understanding the gap between what our culture tries to sell us and how God actually operates. We all love overnight fixes, right? We want the instant, immediate download of transformation. But overnight fixes are temporary, and they're almost always based on performance. God's method is usually daily obedience. It's those tiny, faithful decisions. Taking 5 minutes to pray in the car, choosing to speak gently to your spouse instead of snapping, taking a walk while listening to worship music. These little things create massive, compounding spiritual momentum. Consistency rewires your mind and your spirit until what used to feel impossible just naturally becomes your lifestyle.
Okay, let's tie the whole shebang together in section 6, the daily blueprint practice, your action plan.
Before we run through the specific steps, I want to gently remind you of something so important. It is partnership over solo performance. If you're listening to this and you're just so tired of constantly starting over or carrying these silent battles and disappointment with yourself, please hear this. God is not asking you to transform yourself all on your own. He's inviting you into a partnership. This transformation isn't about becoming some fake, shiny version of yourself. It's simply about becoming who God already created you to be. So here is your highly actionable 4-step daily routine. I really want you to cement this in your mind. Number 1, pause and become aware. Just stop the noise and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Number 2, surrender it to God. Actively release that fear and the desperate need for control through prayer. Number 3, renew your mind with truth. Get into scripture, speak life, and shut down those internal lies. And number 4, take one faithful action. Literally just one small, obedient step today. Which brings us to the absolute most important question of this explainer. What is your one faithful step today? Listen, you don't need a perfect life, and you definitely don't need boundless energy to begin this transformation. You just need this blueprint and a willing heart. So I want you to take a moment right now to decide what that one small step is going to be for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out and exploring this vital topic with me. I absolutely can't wait to guide you through our next explainer. Until then, keep taking those faithful steps.